Are you struggling to play gypsy jazz rhythm guitar the way you'd like to? Is your La Pompe rhythm not really sounding the way you'd want? Are you shying away from jam sessions because you know that your rhythm is just not quite up to par? In this video, I'll show you the number one reason why the sound of your rhythm, and in general, your sound, might not be as good as you'd wish it to be. And I'll show you how to fix this problem. Make sure to watch till the end. I'll share with you the best exercise, in my opinion, to solve this problem once and for all. I'm Dario Napoli. I'm the best guitarist in the world. Just kidding, of course. But I've had a 20-year career as a touring and recording artist, played in just about every gypsy jazz and most jazz festivals you might have heard of or not. Founder of the Under the Tuscan Sun Gypsy Jazz and Jazz Camp, and a few more things that I won't bore you with here. So when talking about gypsy jazz, most people automatically default to thinking about the right hand, and that everything is about the right hand. And while the right hand is extremely important, of course, it really is only responsible for 50% of the sound. The other 50%, at least, is the responsibility of your left hand. And so if your sound is not really up to par, it could be the right hand, or it could be the left hand, or a combination of both. But I can guarantee you one thing. The left hand is extremely important in achieving that authentic sound. Now, the number one problem I've found with people who struggle to find the gypsy jazz or the Django Reinhardt sound is, drum roll, the strength of grip, the strength and accuracy of grip. Most people I know, most students I have that approach themselves to this style either don't know or underestimate the importance of the strength of the grip and its influence in the overall sound, both on rhythm, especially on rhythm, but also on lead. So then your next question is probably this: so how do I get myself to get that strength and accuracy of grip in order to generate that sound? And the answer is through the chords. You might have noticed that many of the chords, the way the gypsies voice them and accomplished gypsy jazz players, are slightly different than your typical jazz chords. And a lot of them involve all 6 strings ringing, or at least 5. You can play it with the thumb, now I broke my thumb when I was younger playing basketball, so I can kind of do it, but for the G major 6/9, I prefer this voicing. Regardless, what's important is that all 6 strings, that I'm capable of having all 6 strings ring. Or part of it is the strength of the grip and part of it is the angle. Another chord that I should be able to ring comfortably, for example, the D major 6/9, where my root is on the 5th string. Even here, I have all 6 strings ringing. Without any hesitation and with total clarity, note per note. Another voicing could be the 9th chord, D9, where I'm also ringing out the A on the bass, as well as the A on the high register. Now, if you've never voiced chords this way, it might be quite challenging at first, but like everything, with the proper approach and practice, it will become easy. I can promise you that. And the side benefit is that you're going to be playing much fuller chords and you're going to have a much larger and rounder sound. But the added benefit is that you'll achieve that strength of grip and that accuracy of grip that is so necessary to achieve the sound, both on lead and on comping. Now, if it's difficult for you to grip chords that way, my suggestion is to start with less notes from that chord. For example, let's take the G major 6/9. If my goal is to play the voicing with the thumb, which you should if your thumb is functional, just like Django did and the way the gypsies do it, then you'll be barring, for example, with your 2nd finger, the D and the G at the 5th fret. So that could be a place to start. 2nd finger on D and 2nd finger also on G. And then index here on the B at the 4th fret. start with that and see if that's simple. One suggestion I have also is try to stay away from too much of a vertical stance and rotate a little bit to the side for a more horizontal stance so that you can isolate the strings and actually have them ring fully. Now, when that becomes easy, what are you going to do? You're going to add the third finger over here on the E. And actually, you could already start with that. In other words, you could mute, with your thumb, you could mute the low E string and also mute with your third finger the high E string, right? And play in the middle. Now that, of course, is going to be a reduced chord, but it's a good place to start. Once that becomes comfortable, you can add the pinky on the high E string, on the A note. And that could be also your next way to play this chord. And when that becomes simple, then you simply add the thumb on the low G. And then you get the full 6-note chord. Same thing with the D. You want to first get accustomed to barring with your second finger the low A and the D, and at the same time ringing out the F sharp. When that becomes simple, then you're going to have to bar with your first finger, and then you gradually add the rest. So just like if you were going to the gym the very first day, you wouldn't lift 100 pounds, but you would gradually work your way up, step by step. Same thing with these chords. On day one, it might be very complicated to play these chords fully, all 6 strings ringing. So break them up in chunks, 2, 3 notes or strings at a time, and then you gradually build up. And as you build up your strength and your accuracy, you will start hearing a change in your sound, both from the chords as well as the single notes. So just as a quick example, right? We're going to play, for example, the changes to Lulu Swing, typical Gypsy swing tune. The idea. And as you can see, you get much of a rounder sound, a lot more bass in your sound without being invasive, and you achieve the famous ronfle, which the French call the snore, that sort of roar, if you will, that the sound of the rhythm has. And that is, again, a result, at least 50% of that is because of the strength of your grip and the accuracy of your grip. So as promised, here is the most effective, or one of the most effective exercises, in my opinion, to effectively develop this strength and accuracy of grip that we're talking about. I'm going to take a simple G rhythm change progression just to show as an example, right? So G rhythm change, you have 1, 6, 2, 5. The idea is that I'm going to perform this progression, 1, 6, 2, 5, just with my left hand, omitting completely the use of my right hand, no strumming, just landing as strongly and as accurately as possible on each of these chords. So, as you can see, I'm generating the sound simply by landing and pressing on the chords exclusively using my left hand. No use of the right hand, and I have to be able to generate the sound of the chord coherently. Now, if you notice, when I land on my chord, it's not individual strings landing, it's like a block landing, like all my fingers are landing on the chord simultaneously. And this is very important, especially as the tempos get faster, you want to land on chords with single motions. You can even do it on the whole rhythm changes progression. But again, what's important is that When you land as strong as you can, as accurately as you can, and so you can generate the sound without the use of the right hand. And I can't stress enough how important it is to land with single motions, not individual fingers, but all fingers landing at once. Now, a quick disclaimer. If you notice in this exercise, of course, you're going to be moving the fingers a lot, and there's going to be quite a bit of excursion for you to generate the sound because you want to land as strong as possible. Now, when you add your right hand, you don't want to continue that. You want to only release the pressure, but you still want to keep contact with the string, so there'll be no sort of flailing with your left hand. So make the distinction between the exercise where you're just training your strength and your landing, as opposed to when you'll be playing. In that case, again, you want to release pressure from the chord, but you don't want to lose touch with your string. Just enough to mute, so that to mute, all you'll need is just to release the pressure. But you want to get into the habit of always keeping contact with the string when you're actually playing the rhythm. So be careful with that distinction, because otherwise you'll be playing rhythm and flailing on and off, which is an inefficient way of moving. Now let me know in the comments below if there's any questions, if something's not clear, as this is a very, very important aspect of Gypsy jazz guitar. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you're looking for Django Reinhardt transcriptions, I'm posting 3 of them each week. You can find the link below in the description. Also on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Italian time, I host a weekly Zoom. So if you have any questions about anything musical in your path, join in the free Zooms. Also, this link will be in the description below. I hope you have fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Are you struggling to play? Are you struggling to play Gypsy jazz rhythm? Are you struggling to play Gypsy jazz rhythm guitar?